Hi, this is Heather Stroman, the field director for the School of Social Work at Millersville University, and I coordinate all of the field for BSW and MSW field placements. So I will be going over an intro to field for all of our BSW students, for those of you who are getting ready to work on the site placement process and matching. So field education is a signature pedagogy in social work education. It integrates theory into practice. It helps students prepare for competence in social work practice. It's your chance to shadow and learn and grow with a professional social worker in the field at your site. Some of the field highlights, there are a total of 450 hours completed in one semester for the BSW program. And typically that is the last semester of your program. And that could be spring, summer, or fall for our online students, or spring or fall for our face-to-face students. It is a minimum hour requirement of 32 hours per week. If you are looking to get the 450, that's what you typically would need to get that. Obviously, there are times that you may not get that amount each week because of being ill or because your site is closed. So you just want to work out how you're going to make up those hours in another week. You'll attend a weekly field seminar where you will relate your field to your learning. So you're basically relating your practice to the competencies and talking through each of them with your field liaison, who's your faculty for field, and process through some of the ways in which you can relate that practice back to theories and your competencies. Some of the roles in field education are the field director. So I'm the field director that coordinates the placements. Jocelyn Perry is our assistant field coordinator, and she helps with some of the placement matching. And so you may see some emails from her. We also have a field GA who will send emails frequently from the social work field education email address. So you want to pay attention to those as well. I do mediate all of the placements for field. So I reach out to sites, I onboard new sites, and then I also provide individual as well as group meetings for students to talk about field and what questions you might have. Your faculty field liaison is actually a professor for your field course when you're in that field semester, and they are really the link between the student and the site during that semester. So they will be the individual who will be your first go-to if something's going on while you're in field, and then they'll reach out to me if necessary. But they are really going to help you kind of understand how those competencies relate to field. Your field instructor is the person with the BSW or MSW at your site who has a degree from a CSWE accredited program with at least 2 years post-grad experience. They do need to be approved by our program, and we do typically ask for just a field instructor info form and a resume from them. And then they also attend our trainings and complete a training online. Every single student has to have a field instructor. Only some students will have a task supervisor. So your field instructor provides at least an hour a week of supervision for social work supervision. And then some students who may not have a field instructor that works with them on the daily will have a task supervisor. So a task supervisor is someone who does not meet the requirements of a field instructor, but still may be providing that daily supervision or oversight for you. We do have a new field software, Tavera, and so there is a cost to this. It can be purchased directly from Tavera with a credit or debit card, or you can purchase through the bookstore. If you purchase through the bookstore, it will be a little bit of an upcharge for them, but you can use financial aid in the bookstore. So you want to prepare for that. It is going to be used for all of your matching documents, your resume, pre-placement, and your release of information, as well as linking you to your site so that all of your assignments in field can be completed in there. So all of the signatures for all of your assignments, all of your journals, your hour logs, everything can be logged in there and completed. Once you pay for this software once, you have it for a lifetime. So you can review any of the things you submitted in there anytime that you want. And if you go on for an MSW, you could use that if you're coming here, or if you're going to another university that uses Tavera, you could also use it there. The site placement process consists of a pre-placement form, release of information form, your professional readiness letter, and a resume. You want to make sure that your resume is ready and it's professional when you're submitting it to Tavera, because that is what we will use to send to sites to get you some interviews for your field. The field matching process, you'll complete the professional readiness process, and then you will get a letter saying that you're professionally ready. You'll submit that to Tavera. You'll complete the pre-placement on Tavera, and we want to be pretty clear about your goals. On there, it will ask you your address. You want to put the address of where you'll be living when you are in field so that we are able to match you to something that might be close to where you are during that semester. You want to make sure your resume is professional and up to date so that it's easy to view and that we can send out. Just look at the formatting, make sure all of the font is the same, that you are doing the same thing for each area that you have, so that it just looks really clean and nice. You can also reach out to ELCM on campus or the Writing Center, and they will be happy to help you with your resumes as well. There will be opportunities to meet with me and also our assistant field coordinator through group meetings, as well as individual meetings that we will send out as you prepare for field. And you can also reach out via email with questions, or you can reach out to schedule another specific individual meeting if you need to. Once you are working through Tavera, you can start submitting your clearances, including your mandated reporter certificate. All students have to have mandated reporter training before you enter field, and that can be done on the BSW program guide under CPSL mandated reporter. Once you receive the certificate from the Learning Institute, you'll want to submit that into Tavera. You also will need to carry student liability insurance of coverage 1 million over 3 million. And you will have two options for that you will see on the clearance sheet in the field manual. It's pretty inexpensive for students. You want to make sure that you get the student rate, and you can submit that into Tavera once you receive that as well. Liability insurance is only valid for a year, so you want to wait until you're closer to your field semester so that it covers you the entire semester in field. All of your clearances do need to cover you for the entire semester that you're in field. So they have to be valid through the end of your internship, and they're considered valid for 2 years. So they have to be less than 2 years old by the end of your internship. Once we get your resume and your pre-placement information, we will match you to sites. We will send your resume to those sites, and then they will contact you directly if they're interested in interviewing you. We do ask that you don't contact sites directly unless you've discussed it with us first, so that we can make sure that we're keeping those relationships with our sites. There is some information on interviews and interview tips in the BSW program guide, but basically you just want to make sure that you're looking at the site, you are understanding what populations they serve. If there's a special population, what skills can you bring? Know your field requirements when you're going in, how many hours you need, what that's going to look like for your schedule. Make sure you have appropriate dress, arrive a few minutes early, and just handle yourself professionally overall. We do ask students that if you are receiving offers and you're not sure if you want to accept because you have other interviews, to just communicate that with them and give them a date by which you'll let them know. And then we ask that you communicate professionally with them. So if you've already confirmed a site and someone reaches out to you for an interview, please politely and professionally let them know that you've already accepted an offer, but thank them for reaching out, things like that, so that we can keep that good professional communication. Some sites will make an offer at the interview. Others will give you a timeline of when they may get back to you. You want to weigh the pros and cons of the offer, kind of decide if it's going to work for you, if it's the population we want to work with. We do try our best to get all students into a site that's really going to work for what their interest areas are, but it is not guaranteed. We only have so many sites in the area, and so we try to work very closely to get you something that would be appropriate for you and something that you're interested in. But every learning opportunity is going to give you something beneficial for you. So please keep an open mind when you're thinking about sites as well. You do want to make a decision rather quickly if they make an offer, or communicate when you intend to make a decision so that they have the opportunity to offer to other students if necessary. And just make sure you're always communicating professionally. Again, we want to make sure that our sites are feeling that you're prepared and ready and professional in practice. Once you do accept an offer, you can complete the site placement process in Tavera, where you will select your site, and then it'll give you options for field instructors. If you do not see your field instructor listed under your site, please reach out to me or Jocelyn, and we can have them added. We just need a name and email address, and we'll have them added to Tavera. So all of the required paperwork, you do have to have your clearances. You have to have a child abuse history, an Act 34 criminal record check, which is the PA record check, and then an FBI fingerprinting done. All of those must be valid for 2 years. Are considered valid for 2 years, and they have to be valid through the end of your internship, like I said previously. And then you have to have your liability insurance. You have to have the contact forms, which just states who your field instructor will be, if there's a task supervisor, and then you have to have your CPSL mandated reporter certificate. All of these must be in before you can begin accruing hours in field. You are not able to accrue any hours until all of these are in and reviewed by us. So this is a really exciting step for you. You're going to be able to really be able to look at connecting your academic learning to your real world experience. It is going to lead to opportunities for your professional career. You're going to gain endless knowledge and skills. And so we want you to be excited about this and collaborate with us as much as possible so that we can be sure to get you something that's going to be a really meaningful experience. So just some reminders, we want to make sure that you get into Tavera and that you're able to put in your pre-placement and put the important pieces that will help us match you to appropriate sites. Make sure that your resumes are professional. And just make sure that those clearances, liability insurance, mandated reporter certificate are all in before the start of the semester. And always please reach out if you have any questions or concerns. We're available via email and we can schedule meetings if you would like over Zoom or in person.